Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78. Happy St. Patrick's Day week, my friends. There is nothing better than heading down to the south side of Chicago and enjoying the South Side St. Patrick's Day parade that goes along Western Avenue. I mean, it is something so truly uniquely Chicago, just like tavern style pizza, you know what I mean? Or the no ketchup on a hot dog. That's also what the South Side Irish Parade is. I remember as a kid growing up in like Palos Hills, you drive over with your parents, or when you were 16, you drove over, you parked along one of the streets, and you made the voyage over to Western Avenue, and you kind of elbow your way through the crowd, and you get up to the front, and everybody's wearing green, and there's candy, and they're drinking beer, and all the things that you want a parade to be. That is it. And even the snow, when it snows or it's 70 degrees, that is the South Side Irish Parade, as we call it. So I'm bringing in my friend Marianne, who is the co-chair of the Southside St. Patrick's Day Parade. How you doing, Marianne?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's Friday. It's the Friday before St. Patrick's Day, so we got lots of talk about here. But I imagine you're knee deep in the St. Patrick's Day festivities, right?
Oh, we are so excited. We call it like Holy Week, and it's just the neighborhood is a buzz. It's green. Everybody's got a shamrock out or a flag. Everyone's planning a party. It's big time. It's on.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny. I from Palos Hills. So in growing up in Palos Hills, every St. Patrick's Day Southside Irish Parade, we were there as kids, and I wanted to show you some. Check this out.
Get out. Where did you get that? How old is that?
It's pretty old. I think I got it from oh, now her name is escaping me. The one of the founders of the parade that has the cart.
Murney Coakley?
Yes,
Mary,
Coakley.
yes.
Yes. That is her. So she bequeathed this to me a few years ago when I did a story about, because she still has that shopping cart thing that she pushes, which is like one of the first floats in the parade, right?
Yes. And it will be in this year's parade as well.
Yeah, and she told me a little bit about it. But if you wouldn't mind, walk me through a little bit of the parade's history and all the fun facts that people would love to know about this parade, because it's more than just showing up and having beer and having a good time, right?
Exactly. So the parade was kind of it used to be back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. It used to be on 79th Street. Pat Coakley, George Hendry were two dads in the neighborhood back in 1979 who kind of wanted to recreate that feeling. So they took 17 neighborhood children and marched around the block and called themselves the Wee Folks of Washtenaw and Tallman. And that was the genesis of the Southside Irish Parade.
And here we are a few years later, right? And it goes down Western Avenue with a few more people being.
Correct.
How many
Yes.
more people do you guys estimate every year that come to the party to parade?
Well, we are the largest community-based parade outside of Ireland. So past years, we've had between 100 and 150,000 people lining the streets. And that's in the new incarnation of the parade. Beforehand, it was probably a quarter million.
Yeah, I
But
remember beforehand. I remember those days. That was something to be seen back in the day.
yeah, it got a little raucous and a little out of hand. So we put a stop to it for 2 years and we
Yeah,
came back as a very family friendly, family focused parade. So
which
now
is
we be, yeah,
what it started out as. It was,
exactly.
and those damn North Siders, they had to come down to the South Side, right? And
They knew a good thing when they
they
saw
sure
it.
did. I wanted to show you something else because this is kind of fun for me.
Get out. Oh my gosh, that's like, it's in every bar
Yeah.
during the month of March.
I have this with pride. I have it out on my bookshelf every day, all year long, because I'm a proud South Sider with family ties to the Midway area, Garfield Ridge and all that. So,
Sure.
I spent a lot of times and dated a lot of girls from Mount Greenwood, Beverly area, terrified of their fireman fathers. But yeah,
Exactly. Are there policeman fathers?
yeah, yes, yes, yes. Either way, you knew not
Um,
to mess with the girls from the South Side of Chicago. That's all I got to say.
that's funny. That's true.
Walk me through the details for this year's parade and anything that if you got younger kids that you want to be there for, or even if there's like some entertainment for the older folks that want to have a little fun with maybe an alcoholic beverage or two.
Well, we have a few sponsors who are doing family friendly things, and the biggest one is NASCAR, and they're going to have a
Oh, cool.
NASCAR. Yeah, one of their cars will be in the parade as well. We have up and down Western Avenue, all of the businesses will be doing, they are doing something that's Irish centric. We
Mhm.
had an Irish coffee contest with all the bars and restaurants up and down Western that they voted on last week. Our one sponsor, County Fair Finer Foods,
Oh, yeah.
sells over 20,000 pounds of corned beef every year.
Wow.
And it's the largest distributor in the Chicagoland area, and some people might even say the United States.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I've seen that place around St. Patrick's time, like the week before, a couple weeks before. Yeah. Like I said, I've been down to Beverly Records more times than I can count. And also had friends that we adorned the parade route as many, many, many years. So,
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, I
You have
love.
nice memories of the parade, and that's kind of our goal is that people look at it as something of an annual, it's an institution and
a-
feel
Absolutely.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even matter if the weather's lousy, but when the weather's good, my gosh, that is something to be seen. But I feel like Chicagoans really earn their stripes when it's like today, snowing a little bit, and they're out there in droves. And depending if it's snowing a lot, some of the green makeup might be running a little bit from the rain or what have you. But nobody seems to care. Everybody has a good time. I mean, it's all like this community. Wherever you park, you are walking with hordes of people to Western Avenue to find your spot and just enjoy to be alive on this Southside St. Patrick's Day Parade Day.
You are so right. You nailed it. We have the best diehard fans, and everybody. It's somewhat of a family, de facto family reunion where people always make it a point to come back to the neighborhood for the Southside Irish Parade. So you see your friends from grammar school, high school, college, relatives. So you find out about engagements, new boyfriends, new girlfriends. It's the best thing ever. I love it.
I feel like it's the family equivalent to Black Wednesday for college kids when they come back home the day before Thanksgiving and they all go to Bourbon. They all go to Bourbon Street on the south side or a plethora of bars along Western Avenue, and they all meet up and have a good time and reconnect. This is like the family version of that, where everybody, far and wide come back to the Southside Irish Parade. You're bound to find somebody you went to school with.
Exactly. And everyone has a family party at their house. So you just walk up and down the streets and you see somebody you know. And they're like, hey, Tom, come on in, have a sandwich, sit down, chat with us. It is. It's the best time. And it's so much fun because you reconnect. And, the parade is a huge economic driver for the neighborhood as well.
Mhm.
Not only for, County Fair, Swanson's Deli, all these smaller places, but it also goes beyond because people fix their homes up. They need things painted, so they hire a painter. They need their landscaping done, they get a landscaper. It's a huge economic driver for the neighborhood. And actually, a lot of the businesses say it's their best day of the year.
Wow, that's saying something out of this little parade that started with 17 kids going around the block, right?
Yes, exactly.
I,
It's
I
a it's a nice showcase for the housing stock too. People are like, I never knew Beverly was like this, or I never knew Mount Greenwood or Morgan Park was like this.
Well, that leads me into my next question, where what do you think is the biggest misconception of the parade or the South Side of Chicago, for that matter, when you hear all these people that come down here for the first time?
Well, that it even exists in the first place because
Yeah, right.
most people don't travel south unless they have a purpose,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I think it's an eye opener for how beautiful the south side it really is. And
Hmm.
the hills are another thing that really kind of people are like, what are you talking about, and you're on the top of the hill at 103rd and Longwood, or you're at, I think it's 87th and Western is the highest point in the city of Chicago, and you can see downtown. So it's beautiful.
Right, and you see some of those bigger, old, almost mansion-like buildings in Beverly and the winding streets, and you're like, "Where am I?" You know?
Exactly. It is. It's a beautiful place to live, and it's a beautiful place to grow up. And people live here, grow up, move away, and a lot of times they come right back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. You know, you mentioned just the I can't say the word. Hospitality. I can't say the word. People being hospitable. There we go. Sorry.
Yep.
It's a Friday for me too. Um, about, like you're on the parade route, or even if you're not on the parade route, you're walking to the parade route and you see there's people out in their front yards and they got, their tents out there and their tables and they got a little fire pit. It's just like this. It's such a Chicago thing. That's the best way I can describe it. If you've never been to Chicago and you want to experience something truly unique to Chicago, the Southside Irish, the parade itself, but the atmosphere, the neighborhood, it's like opening day for baseball, kind of, where the neighborhood wakes up from the long slumber of winter and it's excited about spring. That's what that does for that part of the city.
You're right. You nailed it. That's exactly it, Tom, because I've already fertilized because, you know, somebody told me once that that's their mark to get out and do the lawn is Southside Irish Parade weekend. So I have already. And it is. People are just waking up, shaking the winter off of themselves.
And we are going to get a nice little warm up here this week. So hopefully it'll last into next weekend where people can just enjoy themselves and not have 17 layers on, but maybe just a sweatshirt and some jeans and a proper Irish
Cap.
decor, if you will, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When do things get started for the parade?
We start shutting the streets down probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock, knocking on doors, towing cars for if they're on the emergency routes,
Sure.
which are both sides of the parade. But then everybody's kind of aware of that right now, so they prepare the night before, park their cars, and get things all taken care of that time.
Hmm.
Generally, we have all the streets shut down by 10 a.m. The Chicago Police Department does a roll call at 7 a.m. on Western Avenue, so they are, ready and waiting for everybody and helping us prepare. And then we have, I think, over 100 floats, 104, and then we got
Wow.
everybody lined up. Yeah, it's
104 floats?
yes.
And
And
how many
go
people in
ahead.
the actual parade?
Oh gosh, I would have to say a minimum of 1,000. If
Wow.
you're doing, I would say maybe 1,500, maybe 2,000, because the parade is 104 floats,
Mhm.
and we also start at 103rd and Western, go a mile and a half down to 115th. So it's one of the longer parades in the city as well.
Any unique floats that stand out to you as something that people should look out for the day of the parade?
Well, our Grand Marshal is Big Shoulders Fund, and they are going to have a float with 10 of the schools represent. So the schools' children will be on the float and walking on the side. Our honoree is the Mount Zion Project at Brother Rice High School. They will have a float as well. We also have a kickoff for the parade's always kicked off by the Stockyard Kilty Band. So they're the first band to get things going, and they're so much fun to watch. So
And the parade prop, like what the kickoff to the parade, what time is that? So people need to be in their spots, make sure they don't miss anything.
12 noon, and we run like clockwork. So
Random question: Where, because it's so big and so many people, where do you stage the parade for it to be, roll down Western Avenue the way it does?
that's a really good question. So we go about 2 blocks east, 2 blocks west, and 2 blocks north. We have a whole team of people who stage, and it runs like clockwork, getting everybody in line, making sure everybody's lined up properly. And once that 12 o'clock whistle blows, they kick off. So yeah, it's a big production.
Yeah, I imagine something that's been perfected over the years. So, what year is this for the parade when you count it all together?
Well, we did have a couple of breaks, so I believe this is our 46th year.
Wow, that's great. I love
Could
it.
be wrong, sorry. So
40 plus years, we'll call it. How about that?
40 plus years, right?
All right, so it kicks off noon on the Sunday before St.
16th
Pat's.
of March.
Yeah,
Correct.
16th, because St. Patrick's Day on that Monday. And for folks who have never been, what time do you recommend them heading down there to get their spot? And then is there a spot along the route that you would recommend over another?
I would say further south down the route is less crowded. Everybody wants to be up in front, so that
Oh,
is pretty jammed. I would say south of 107th Street, you might get a little bit of elbow room. And it's generally the east side of Western is more family friendly. The west side of Western has all the bars.
that's
So,
right. That's the
yeah.
sides I remember fondly. Or not remember fondly, what have you. But either way, Marianne, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. We'll see you out at the parade on Sunday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Sure.